Welcome back to the Hockey Talk podcast. I'm Jacob Fraser, and I'm joined here by Keanen Tregaskis. Keanen, it's been a while. This is our second episode, and I think the first
in
one
2 months.
Yeah, I was going to say I think the first one came out with a couple weeks left in the regular season, but we're starting to get back on track here. We're finally finished school, and so we're going to be pumping out more of these every week now. So let's just get started here. We're just gonna do a little bit of a playoff overview, what's happened so far, and then just outlook on the rest of the final two rounds. So let's start over in the West. Jets, Blues. On our last episode, you were talking about how the Blues were your dark horse to go on a run.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I think you had said the Blues.
I thought I said that they were bad. I don't remember.
Oh, maybe it was Spencer that said Blues.
I don't remember what my this is what it's
yours
been
would
so
have been
long.
the Sens.
Sorry,
yours was the Sens. Yeah,
and they went to overtime like four straight losses. So it's hard to say that it was a bad pick.
For sure.
You know what was bad picks though? All of our Stanley Cup winners.
Yeah, who I know Spencer and I had basically the exact same bracket. Who did you have winning?
I had Tampa. The three of you had Colorado.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so nobody made
terrible.
It out of the first round.
No, I mean, looking back, I did think that whoever won that Colorado Dallas series would be my favorite to win the Stanley Cup. I
think that's a fair thing to say anyways. Like they were two really good teams. The only thing Colorado had going for it was Dallas was a little banged up in that first round.
Well, and this is the problem with the playoff format that we have now, where it's 1 versus the wild card and then 2 and 3. Like a lot of those 2 and 3 series, in the case of Colorado Dallas, you're getting one of the best playoff matchups right off the bat, which it's great. You get people excited for the playoffs, but now we're looking at a Florida Carolina matchup where it's not a super exciting conference final, in my opinion. That is, I just think the way Carolina plays, the way Florida plays, it'll be heavy hitting, but it won't be like this high event hockey game in any game this series.
Well, to add to your point, if we're doing 1 through 8, which the NHL should, which it makes more sense to begin with as many playoff teams as they had, Dallas and Edmonton would have played first round, Colorado and LA would have played first round, and then Florida, Carolina would have played first round though. So it's interesting.
I mean, it's good for, like I said, it's good for getting people excited for the playoffs. But as you get deeper into the rounds here, like who was, okay, I'll ask you this. What was your favorite series in the first round? And what was the biggest letdown for you in the first round, series-wise?
Favorite series? Probably that Edmonton series, because it was just so electric, that big, like a lot of comebacks. They were losing in like every game. And then obviously won 4 straight. I think that was the most entertaining one to watch. Biggest letdown. I didn't watch the New Jersey series, so I had low expectations for that to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a look at the bracket real quick.
While you take a look, I'll say I completely agree with your Edmonton LA pick. I would also say that I really enjoyed that Winnipeg St. Louis series.
See, I wanted to say that, but most of the games in St. Louis were just blowouts, and then it was just the final couple of seconds, and then the overtime, which really made it look better than it was. But in St. Louis, the Jets were bad.
Yeah, totally fair. I just like to see Hellebuck, is he gonna show up today? Like away games he didn't show up.
Home ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Biggest letdown, Florida, Tampa. Maybe a bit because I had Tampa as the Cup champion, but it was still a 5-game series, which Florida pretty much dominated. It's hard to say it wasn't a letdown.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick as well. You mentioned the Carolina New Jersey series. I didn't really watch much of that. I knew that wasn't going to be very fun to watch, but I did think that the Battle of Florida there was going to be a much more entertaining and a much closer series than it was.
Yeah, well, like Tampa had a lot of hopes coming out. It felt like the way you said Dallas and Colorado, the winner's the favorite. In my mind, that's what the Battle of Florida was. looking back, you could probably say, well, not really. They might have lost to Toronto, just the way they played in that first round. But that's how it felt coming in. So that's why it's a letdown for me.
Yeah, well, 100%. I mean, I had Colorado, Florida as my
Yeah,
Stanley Cup final. And if you had Dallas, Tampa, I wouldn't have disagreed with that. Like, I
we would
feel
have
like,
both been half correct
yeah,
to this point.
exactly.
To this point.
Well, and I just think that those are the four best teams in the playoffs right now. Like, obviously, coming into the playoffs, it was Toronto, Washington were the one seeds, and then Winnipeg, Vegas. But that's the problem, like we were saying, with the 1 versus 8. It's you're not getting the teams that are coming second place in their division. Third place team sometimes is the third best team in that conference.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're having these tough matchups right off the bat. You're not getting the benefit of actually doing well in the regular season unless you come first place.
Yeah. On the contrary, this felt like one of the years where the first seeds in each division weren't the greatest teams. Like, are we really surprised that Dallas beat Winnipeg? No. Are we that surprised that Edmonton made it out of the second round? Not really. I'm surprised with how they played because they dominated. Are we surprised that the back-to-back Eastern champs are in the conference finals again and Carolina's back? Not really.
No, that's totally fair. I'm not surprised by the teams that are in the positions that they are, but I just don't love the format of how they have to
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. But hey, Bettman loves it, so we'll be seeing this until he's gone.
Well, they're going to be adding like 4 more teams to the league soon too, so we're going to have 12 teams making the playoffs out of each conference at that
You're
point.
gonna have teams worse than the Chicago Blackhawks. Like, come on.
Speaking of the Chicago Blackhawks, Mitch Marner plays his potentially last game as a Toronto Maple Leaf. I think he's going to end up in Chicago. Where do you think he's going to go?
I was thinking Utah because it's a smaller market. There's no history there. There are no expectations. Chicago, like a decade ago, they were a dynasty. Like that, like he's stepping into big shoes there, being Bedard's wingman and being like, oh, you guys are the next big thing since Kane and Taves. I think he goes to a smaller market team, and I think Utah's the best fit for him because there are no expectations there. It's pretty far away from Toronto, different conferences. Yeah, there's just no expectations. There won't be any pressure. He'll just be able to play his game and then, assuming he gets there, lead Utah to the playoffs at some point.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that fit. I think obviously he would be a great fit alongside a player like Dylan Guenther, who he can maybe unlock that scoring even more for Guenther. He had a great year this year, obviously, but maybe even get to that 40, 50 goal mark with a playmaker like Mitch Marner on the other side. And then even Logan Cooley as well. Like they've got some good young players. So I think that would be a great fit, but I could just see him seeing a player like Connor Bedard and going, that's an elite goal scorer. I've played with one of those before. And I could really see him turning Connor Bedard into that 50, 60 goal scorer, 100-point guy.
Well, Chicago would also throw the bag at him because they have nothing else. Like, who are they paying?
They're paying Nick Foligno $5 million.
But no, I'd really like to see him go to Utah because it's what Utah needs to establish themselves in the hockey market. Bring in the best free agent on the market. Yeah, it'll cost you some money, but it'll get fans in the door.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think about the name Mammoth?
It's fine.
Yeah, that's how
one
of
those things. I saw it. I was like, I don't really care for it, but I also, how much Utah games am I going to watch?
Yeah. No, I would have preferred Yeti.
Yeah, obviously, Outlaws was kind of cool too, though.
I don't even know what that means though. Like, what significance does that have?
The Wild West back like 100 years ago.
Okay,
I think that's the only connection I can make to it. So Outlaws.
I mean, yeah, Mammoth. They're big animals. They're extinct. Who cares? All right, should we get into some round 3 talk here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's start with the Dallas Stars Edmonton Oilers. So obviously, This is a rematch from last year's Western Conference Finals, but this year the Dallas Stars have added Mikko Rantanen to their roster. Is that enough for you to put them over the edge in this year's matchup over the Oilers?
I'm gonna go with no, because Dallas has been okay. I don't think they were that good in the Winnipeg series. They have that going for them, though, because obviously that means you can still elevate your game. But on the contrary, so can Edmonton. Draisaitl's been hurt. McDavid hasn't. He scored 3 goals. He's going to score more than that in a playoff series. And you're going to get Ekholm back at some point this series. And Skinner remembered how to save a hockey puck. And there's also the other thing is, for me right now, you're not going to want it more than a team that was 1 goal away from winning it all last year, that is in a 40-ish year cup drought in a country that hasn't won it in 30 years, like with a fan base that's eager to win. I just think there's too much going on and off the ice for Edmonton right now. And they've rolled in with so much momentum. They dominated a very good Vegas team. They made them look bad. And they're going to come into Dallas and do what they did last year. Upset them and shock the world.
Yeah, I like your point about making Vegas look bad. Like, honestly, they did. They beat them in 5 games, and that's with a combination of Cal Pickard and Stuart Skinner, who obviously Skinner had 2 shutouts, but I mean, that's not happening unless Edmonton plays the way that they did. And they played that well, not allowing many goals without their best defenseman in Matthias Ekholm.
You know who's stepped up big time for them? Klingberg.
Yeah, 100%.
Like he's 25 again.
Yeah, and he's not this massive liability. You can't play him in the last 10 minutes of a tight game.
I remember when everyone was clowning Edmonton for signing him.
I was one of those people.
And he was a big part of that series win.
100%. And they've got a lot of depth scoring that's been helping them out too. Like guys like Corey Perry. I mean, I guess he's not a depth scorer because he's on, I think, the top line right now. But you don't expect a guy like Corey Perry to be very productive for the Edmonton Oilers, or at least as productive as he's been. Same with Evander Kane. I think he's really been playing well since coming back from that injury. He's missed the entire season. It's hard to come back and jump right into a playoff environment, and he's excelled in his role on that Oilers third line. But I am going to say that I'm going to give the edge to the Dallas Stars here. I just think, like, yeah, Skinner's been good, but I don't think you can rely on him to get 4 wins against a team like the Dallas Stars. I think the Stars have more offensive firepower than the Vegas Golden Knights do. A guy like Mikko Rantanen, the Knights just don't have that. I guess Jack Eichel, but he also didn't perform.
Rantanen is better though.
Yeah, and you got Jason Robertson back. You got Miro Heiskanen back, and then you have Jake Ottinger in net, who's one of the best goalies in the NHL. I'm just not sure that Edmonton is really prepared to play a team as good as the Dallas Stars are, because they haven't seen that in the playoffs so far. Whereas Dallas has gone through Colorado, who has Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar. Like, they've got some unbelievable pieces. Obviously, the Winnipeg Jets weren't great, but they were the best team in the Western Conference this year and in the NHL. So I think just Dallas is more prepared to take on the Oilers than the Oilers are to take on Dallas, and I think Dallas is going to squeeze out a series win here. But I do think it's going to go to about 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, I'd say the same, 6 or 7. I just obviously flip the team who's coming out of it. I mean, it's hard to disagree with you because they are, I think, a better team than Vegas. They showed that through the regular season. I think people forgot how good the Stars were because of that 7-game losing streak coming right in. They're going to get healthier. I think they play better, but I also think Edmonton plays better because both teams are getting healthier. And it's going to be a bloodbath because it is a rematch and it is 2 teams who are in a long cup drought. But I got to give the edge to Edmonton. Best player in the world, and you got the depth scoring right now. They just had nothing stopped them right now.
Yeah, that's fair. One thing that I want to point out with the Dallas Stars is a player like Wyatt Johnston. So Johnston, last I checked, he was, yeah, he still is the worst plus minus in the playoffs. He's got 8 points in 13 games, and he's a minus 13. So where I see it, they've gotten through Colorado, they've gotten through Winnipeg, despite the fact that one of their top six centermen in Wyatt Johnston has been really underwhelming in these playoffs. You look at their lineup. I'm going to pull up their lines here because I can't remember them off the top of my head. But you look at their lineup. They have that depth scoring that the Edmonton Oilers have too, right? Like you got Mason Marchment and Tyler Seguin on your third line. Jamie Benn's on your fourth line. Your top line is Granlund, Hintz, Rantanen, Robertson, Duchesne, Johnston. Like I just see that forward group as worlds ahead of the Oilers forward group, despite the fact that the Oilers forward group has been very good.
No, that's fair. That is they are obviously very talented offensively, but and their penalty kill has been great. But yeah, I'm just giving the edge to Edmonton. I it could go either way. Like you obviously hope that for any conference final matchup and Stanley Cup final matchup. But I just got to ride with Edmonton, ride with the team that's running the hotter hand, that's more momentum, 8 wins in their last 9 games. It doesn't seem like anyone can stop them or anything can stop them right now. But yeah, I hope it is a fun series to watch.
Oh yeah, it definitely will be. I mean, anytime you got Connor McDavid going up against Mikko Rantanen, I think you can expect a lot of offense and a fun series there. All right, let's shift over to the Eastern Conference here. Florida, Carolina, the more boring series out of the two.
Yeah.
Do you have the Panthers going back to the Stanley Cup Finals for a third year in a row, or does Carolina finally get over the hump and get past?
This one, I honestly I've got no idea how this is gonna go. I hope Florida doesn't go back. I really do not care about the state of Florida's hockey market at all. I don't want to see the Panthers go back for a third straight year because that, like, come on, let's be honest, that gets boring. Like,
for sure,
they're back. But I think last time they met, it was a sweep, but all games were separated by 1 goal. I think I'm going to go Florida in 6. I think they start slow because Carolina's more rested and they're in Carolina. But I think it's going to be very similar to how we saw the Toronto series. They start slow, Bobrovsky finds his game and the depth scoring shows up and the physicality is there.
Yeah, I want to go Carolina. I love the Hurricanes. They're one of my favorite teams in the league, despite the fact that they're boring to watch. I like a lot of the players that they have. But I don't think I can see them getting it done. This Florida team, like you mentioned, they've got so much depth. You've got, let's see, you've got Barkov, Rodriguez, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Kachuk. And then you got a line of Lusterinen, Lundell, and Marchand as your third line. Like on pretty much not every team in the NHL, but a lot of teams in the NHL, that third line is like a solid second line.
Yeah. To me, it's going to come down to if Carolina can control the possession game. Because that's obviously the style of hockey they play. It's what Toronto lacked down the stretch against Florida and what made Florida dismantle them in Game 7. If you can control the puck and you can control the time of possession, the offensive zone, obviously all the important stats, which is what Carolina did the first 2 series, I don't think Florida wins, but I don't see that happening because that's a lot against a very physical team that plays dump and chase really well because they've got the power forwards to do it. It's like you lose a puck in the neutral zone, it's just going to be dumped in and you're going to be squished against the boards. Like,
yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. If Carolina can control the pace of play, control the puck, and forecheck as they should be able to, they definitely have a good shot. And I think defensively, I think they have a better decor than the Florida Panthers do. You got Slavin, Burns, Orlov, Walker, and then Gostisbehere is on your third D pairing. Mm-hmm. Like they have a good decor. They've got good forwards up front. Maybe not your like top end scorers, but they play 200-foot game, and I think they'll just need to squeeze out wins. Like 3-2 win here and there,
Mhm.
2-1 win. It'll be close games for sure, but if Carolina wants to win this series, they're going to have to hold Florida to 1 to 2 goals a game and
They'll
rely
need to
on Frederick
capitalize
Anderson.
on their power play opportunities
Mm-hmm.
because Carolina, they don't generate that many high danger opportunities
No,
on 5-on-5. Obviously, any team will have the best chances on the power play. You just need to capitalize on that because you don't play that much off the rush. You're a possession team who loves your shots from the point against a Florida team that's not afraid to block and get in the shooting lanes. You just got to take control when you have the opportunities. And well, they haven't done that. They've lost 8 straight conference final games. They got swept by Florida last time they played. I hope it's not that bad. I don't think it'll be another sweep.
no.
But yeah, I just think Florida is more built for the playoffs, especially for now. One bad hit on a guy in Florida who's played 100 games each of the past 2 years, he might go down, but I don't think that's going to be the line for who wins the series.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like what would you be your prediction for how long that series will go?
6. I think I said 6,
Six.
but
Oh,
yeah,
did you? Oh,
I
okay,
think so.
sorry. I
Nah,
missed
you're good.
that. Um yeah, I'm gonna go Florida in 6 as well. And then I'm gonna go Dallas in let's say Dallas in 7.
Okay, I'll say Edmonton in 6.
Okay.
Both teams winning in 6.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah. I what would be the most exciting matchup to you in the finals? Would it be that Oilers Panthers final?
that would be the most exciting. Like it's a direct rematch, and it's
Yeah.
probably the two most entertaining teams in the playoff. You could argue Dallas, but they're going up against the best player in the world in Connor McDavid, who's been playing and the Oilers have just been playing some very exciting playoff hockey recently, and then the Panthers, they've been playing really good hockey as well. I think that's the most exciting. Yeah. If you asked me this in round 2, I would have said Toronto Edmonton because that would have been a war, but we obviously know what happened there.
Since we've got a bit of time left, I wanted to ask you, are you keeping up with the World Championship at all?
No, I saw the quarterfinal match, like the who's playing who in the quarterfinals, but I haven't
Okay.
watched any games.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say if you saw who Canada was playing.
They're playing. Let's see here.
I think they're playing Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark.
Yeah. So I guess if you haven't watched it, we don't need to touch on it too much, but just I guess what looking at the matchups here, who do you think is going to be moving on to the semifinals in this tournament?
Um, Canada, Sweden. Uh, that one's interesting. Austria, Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I'll go. Let's go Switzerland, and then I'll take a Finland upset.
A Finland upset, okay.
There's got to be one upset in there.
Yeah, and I don't mind that upset. I don't know if you saw the USA
Yeah,
Norway. They were
they
up
blew a
5-1.
five-goal lead. They won it in overtime, but
Yeah.
still,
Oh,
didn't
it's
they
terrible.
lose to someone else? The USA. I swear.
Yeah, they lost to. Oh, now I can't remember who they lost to.
Let's see. Because I swear they lost. Yeah, 3-0 to Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland went 6-0 in their group.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Switzerland's the number one
go on, Switzerland.
number one team in Group B. They went 6-0. USA 5-1, 5-1-1. Or oh, it's the stupid
The over. Yeah, because they've got
double
like over.
IIHF
Yeah, yeah,
format. Yeah, so they have 5 wins, 1 overtime win, and 1 regulation loss.
yeah.
So did
France and
Czechia.
Kazakhstan demoted.
Do they get demoted or do they have to play in that relegation game?
I don't know. I that might have been disinformation.
Where did you see it somewhere?
I think so.
It might be the
Let me
bottom
see.
two teams get relegated. I thought it was that the bottom two teams play in a relegation game.
No, they're both relegated.
Hmm. Do you know who comes up?
Let's see.
Probably like Italy or something. Or Japan. I think Japan's been in the tournament before.
Oh, the two teams, unrelated, the two teams who got qualified last year were Hungary and Slovenia, so they didn't go back down.
Slovenia? They weren't even in the... Oh, they were in the tournament this year.
Qualified through winning promotion. Great Britain and Italy.
Okay, I called it Italy. Yeah. And Great Britain, wow.
I didn't expect them to be going up to the top division there. Okay. No. Okay.
Are there any British players in the NHL right
now? It'll
be...
Well, either way, it'll be what... Actually, I don't know how the IIHF works, but in baseball, when they have their worlds, it's just people claiming British heritage, going over there and playing for them.
So I think they can do that, but I doubt that they're going to pull any NHL players doing that.
Yeah, no, I doubt that as well, but you might see, oh, I know that guy. I didn't know he was British, sort of thing.
Right. I'm trying to find on the NHL website if there's any active players from Great Britain. Doesn't look like it. Unless I'm missing someone and people are like, no, there's no one in the NHL that's active from Great Britain. So it'll be a bunch of no names on that team. But that's always fun to watch too. You love watching these lesser known guys come to the tournament, and maybe some of them put up a few points and have a good tournament.
Get themselves a decent contract. That's what they're playing for.
Well, like Switzerland, their leading scorer right now is leading scorer, Tyler Moy. If you haven't heard the name before, what are you doing? He's a 6th-round pick to the Nashville Predators in 2015, and he currently plays in the Swiss A-League.
Did he ever make the NHL?
No, he played one season in the AHL and had 16 points in 72 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
The more you know.
We can wrap it up there. We'll be back shortly with shortly once a couple of games have passed in these in this round 3 matchups. We'll be back with another episode to break those down.
In 2 months.
Hopefully not.
Free agency preview. Did you hear Dallas won the cup?
Yeah. Hopefully it's not one of those again, but if it is, we apologize in advance. So thank you for listening.